There's one aspect of photography that has existed since the very invention of the art form. It has been a part of my life from birth, and one that I will rely on until I too become a memory. My home is adorned in photos of my favorite places, my favorite people, and my most precious memories. The printed photo is the best way to continually remind myself of how good of a life I have. Instant photography in particular is an enduring favorite of mine. Like our memories, things aren't always perfect or sharp in our mind. I've not yet found a better way to capture the essence of a memory than instant photography. I own and use a few Polaroid cameras, a land camera, and one Instax wide. With the Instax, I've always preferred the wide to the mini because I find the mini style to be a bit too small of a canvas. But what I've craved has always been more control and less wasted shots. That's why I'm quite enthusiastic about the release of the new Instax Wide EVO. In this video, I'm going to make the case for why this camera may be one of the best cameras you'll ever own. I'll also give you my first impressions, including some elements of the design that puzzled me a little. Today, we're going wide, so let's make way for the hit list of the Fujifilm Instax Wide EVO. The Wide EVO steps away from the vintage design of the Mini EVO and leads towards mimicking the slick and modern GFX design. It steps up with a larger 1/3 inch sensor and 16 megapixel, 16mm full frame equivalent wide photos. A larger screen over the Mini and a wealth of picture effects options that now have a degree of control for nearly endless customization. The shining light of the EVO series is the hybrid digital interface that means for more accurate focus, more control, and less wasted photographs. Along with the new camera comes a new smartphone app, two-way integration with the camera allowing you to print any photo from any place, and super easy upload to social media. All this and more with the fun and flirty Fujifilm Instax Wide EVO. Let's start by discussing what I really like about this camera, and then as always, we'll go into some of its constraints or challenges. First up is the look and feel. Fujifilm has long been the leader in cameras you actually want to carry with you because they look great. The Wide EVO takes its design from the GFX series cameras for a classy, neutral look that will blend in well with kind of whatever you're wearing. The biggest selling feature for me with the hybrid instant digital cameras is the control and cost savings. Listen, I love the surprise of instant photography. Click the shutter and wait to see what you get. But for every great photo I've taken 2, 3, 4 or more that just simply didn't turn out. Being able to take a range of photos and then select the exact one that I want to print is a big deal, especially in cost savings with film. The control also of under or overexposure and print quality is also super appreciated, especially for those who actually endeavor to make their photos as beautiful as possible. Like the Mini EVO, the Wide has virtually the same 10 picture effects and 10 film effects. The upgrade comes way of the lens ring that modulates the style or intensity of a particular effect. Here are a few examples. The Mini EVO is still quite wide at a standard 28mm full frame field of view, but the Wide EVO expands out to a 16mm full frame field of view, and you can still get that original 5 megapixel 28mm shot just by turning off the wide feature, which simply just crops in on the 16 megapixel base image. The macro function also lets you get close and wide for some uniquely wonderful shots. However, for portraits, you'll almost always prefer to have it on the cropped setting, whereas action, environment, and events shine with the wide setting. Like all modern cameras, your mobile device also becomes a trusty companion. With the new Wide EVO app, you can send photos in two directions. The obvious one is posting directly to social media with a whole range of design, effect, and layout options. But the more exciting feature, at least for me, is sending photos to the camera. You can shoot any photo on any camera and then use the Wide EVO as a photo printer. And I really, really love this, especially since I already own a Polaroid lab printer, but the way it works is just kind of weird and results are not always great or controllable. The amount of control that you get with the Instax Wide EVO is far superior. And the fact that you have a camera and a printer all in one is great and, environmentally speaking, avoids owning two different products. Let's briefly dive into some of the constraints and challenges I have with this new camera. As a caveat, Most of my gripes are because I've been shooting so many cameras for so long that I don't like it when brands decide to sort of remap the experience. I know that most users, especially the younger, more inexperienced ones, will really not notice or care about any of this. From a tactility perspective, I don't love the shutter button. It doesn't really feel like a shutter button, and sometimes I can't tell if it's actually even moving. Its travel is just far too subtle. It doesn't really have the commitment feel of a classic instant camera, nor the subtlety and control of a modern digital one. It occupies some sort of strange place in between, a shutter purgatory, if you will. The new 3.5-inch screen is great, save for the part where, unless you're looking at it dead on, there could be some brightness shifts. Generally speaking, it's most prominent at one of the pan angles. Now, not a deal breaker because this isn't a pro camera, but once again, something I'm just not used to. I love the side dials for film effects and styles, but they don't do anything else, and that puzzles me. It's lacking that instinctive use to use them to, say, navigate a menu, especially since the menu is up and across, so the two dials would make perfect sense. Yet they are just simply locked to that single function. Furthermore, the joystick is not pressable. It only toggles in direction. I understand that this functionality is generally a pro feature as it speeds up workflow, which isn't very critical here. This to me is just a way of keeping the price down for the consumer. I'm only griping because I am just so used to this with every other camera, so it just kind of feels odd. The final critique is clearly because I am an old man. I really, really miss having an eyepiece. I mean, even if it's just a viewfinder and not even an EVF, there's just something I love about using a camera like a camera and not a smartphone. It's what I love about my original Instax wide and my Polaroid cameras, and it's missed in this product. But I suppose if you're Gen Z or younger, you couldn't care less. I just don't like change. Truthfully, these critiques aren't anything to be taken that seriously. This is a brilliantly designed camera, and it would instantly take over in my arsenal of instant cameras, with the exception of my land camera that shoots the long-discontinued Fujifilm FP100C peel-away film, which represented the best instant photography in existence. I like to mention this in every conversation I have with the reps at Fujifilm. In an era of rising resolutions, lens fidelity, and Photoshop perfection, there remains something magical about instant photography. The tactility and the playfulness of it means you'll almost always be the life of the party, and the novelty of it will make you take it with you wherever you go. But most importantly, the ability to capture a moment in time and remember it for as long as it lives on your fridge. For me, for now, I'm out. Peace.